All right, what's going on, everybody? I want to welcome you to this week's episode of Terrance and Mike, the Sleeping Giants, presented to you by Double E TV. Mike, what's up, man?
Not much, bro. What's good?
Yeah, man. We back, man, with a new pod. We got Kanye West kicking it off, man, with part 2 of the Drink Champs interview. What were your initial thoughts?
Well, it was definitely different from part 1. You know, I think a lot of part 1 kind of got overlooked once he started talking about his gripes with some people, namely Big Sean, Talib Kweli, Common, John Legend, and people of that nature. But I thought part 2 was refreshing in the fact that we actually did get to hear from Larry Hoover Jr., which was dope. You know, got to hear some of his experiences and you know, being in the position where he's going to see his father in prison for the majority of his life, actually his whole life up to that point. So, you know, he got to shed some light on that and then in his pop situation.
Right.
I Kanye's comments about buying America were very interesting. Also, the community with the Dr. Sebi diet and having grandparents serve as child care. I thought those were some interesting ideas. But I'm glad that we're touching on this because I do want to clarify something that we talked about in the previous episode.
Okay.
When we were talking about the Big Sean and Kanye thing, and we were discussing that, one of the things that I said that I feel like wasn't conveyed 100% clearly was that Big Sean and other people went to media outlets and spoke on Kanye and his politics and things like that. I have not seen one interview or anything like that where Big Sean himself spoke negatively on Kanye or his politics or anything like that. Now, John Legend, Talib, you know, even Common to a certain degree, those guys are different. You know, Talib has his own platform, the People's Party on Revolt TV. Obviously, Common, you know, is well known, so he's been on multiple platforms. Talib spoke on him on Vlad before. John Legend spoke on him on CNBC and a couple of other different, you know, platforms. So I wanted to make sure that I was clear that, you know, whatever Big Sean and Kanye have going on, I have not seen Big Sean publicly speak negatively on Kanye during the presidential run, especially. And there were some songs, I mean, he's had songs where he's taking shots at him, but as far as in the media platform, I have not seen Big Sean speak negatively on Kanye.
Okay.
So I wanted to clarify that.
You know, one thing I found interesting, they were talking about Larry Hoover, and they got the same lawyer that got Cosby off, and how the lady wanted to take a photo in the studio, and when Kanye said something about her taking a photo, she yelled at him, and he liked that. So I think he's one of those type of people. I think he kind of likes confrontation a little bit. I think that kind of is like a test for him to see what type of people he wants to have around him. I guess if you don't have like any fight in you or want to argue or have like principles that you stand on, it probably would be difficult to be around him. And he said, you know, he texted the lady later on, and then, you know, his back and forth with Jay and stuff like that. So I think Kanye is a little, just from the outside looking in, listening to some of his interviews, I think he kind of likes confrontation a little bit. But yeah, I thought part 2 was a lot better than part 1. I did get a chance to go back and listen to our segment that we put up. I mean, I do understand where you're coming from, but I guess for me, I just, you know, you're running for president. So, I mean, even people who are within your party or whatever, you know, when you have policies that people don't agree with, they're going to speak out about it. So that's just something that if Kanye, because at the end of the interview, he said, yay, 2024. So if he's going to run, you know, one of those positions like that, man, you got to have thick skin, and people gonna, you know, have opinions about whatever you're doing, you know, good or bad. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm glad they got a chance to shed some light on Larry Hoover, his situation, and we heard about Jay Prince's involvement, and I think me and you had spoken a couple pods that maybe the situation with him and Drake, it's not really so personal. It's just kind of competition, like LeBron going up against KD or whoever. It's nothing personal. We're just out here both trying to win. But yeah, I enjoyed the second interview. It gave me a chance to kind of get into his mind a little more. I had said something, in the last pod about I don't have 2 hours to listen to Kanye, but it's not so much that, I mean, I do respect him as an artist and I do like his ideas. It's just all I want is just for us, you want people to respect the genius in you, then you should also respect the genius in other people. And that's my only thing with him. But yeah, it was a good interview though.
On that note, I mean, I don't think Kanye, despite his own personal feelings about those people, I don't think Kanye disrespected anybody's genius. I mean, he gave Common his props when he talked about the Common and Talib thing. I mean, despite all the things he said about Talib, once again, he said that the Black Star album was the best album he's heard since My Dark Twisted Fantasy. And
but he did say 3 or 4 times he didn't like his rapping though.
I mean, he may not like his rapping, but at the same time, he did put him on College Dropout. He was on tour with him, and he did say his new project is better than, or the best album he's heard since Dark Twisted Fantasy, which was a Kanye West album for those who don't know. So, despite, what may have come across as disrespectful, and I think it was aimed to be disrespectful, because he was, I think he was bothered by those people speaking on him in that way. But regardless, I still think he, in all of that, still managed to show a slight bit of respect when talking about the people's art. So, that is what it is, I guess.
Yeah. I feel you. All right, we'll transition to Soulja Boy on his Breakfast Club interview. I mean, I found it interesting. I mean, I can almost kind of see why Soulja Boy and Kanye would kind of, clash heads. They're kind of similar. Both, not in a disrespectful way, but both are really full of themselves or really think highly of themselves. But, Soulja Boy kind of toned it down a little bit. He wasn't as amped up as before about F Kanye and all that. Maybe for him, it was just a communication thing. If you didn't like the verse, then I could have did it over, or, and then, Kanye sometimes be hitting people up at the last minute. You got to rush and all that. So maybe that's different from how Soulja moves. But, all in all, I mean, if everything Soulja Boy said is true on the interview, more power to him, as far as the business moves that he has going on and some acting projects and stuff like that. So, overall, it was a cool, entertaining interview. And I think you mentioned something about him and Revolt TV are kind of working on like a show for him as well. And I think him and Keke Palmer was doing something also.
Yeah. I mean, Soulja Boy is I personally, I'm a big Soulja Boy fan. Just Soulja Boy the person, musically, I like some of his music. I'm not gonna pretend like I'm a fan of all of it, but I like what Soulja Boy stands for in general. And for a long time, Soulja Boy was looked at as a joke in the culture, and I'm glad that as of recently he started to really get the respect and the flowers that he deserves. And like you said in the interview, he talked about the Soulja game, which was his handheld, almost similar to a Game Boy type gaming device that he's been pushing for a decent little while right now. I'd probably say at least a good 3-4 years at this point now. Also, he showed the Soulja toy, which those toys, I can't remember exactly what they're called, but they're very popular, especially right now. So I think that's smart for him to delve into that and get his hands in that. As you said, he spoke briefly about the Kanye situation and him being taken off the song and all of that. I felt like it was, classic Soulja Boy being Soulja Boy, which we, those of us who like Soulja Boy, I'm sure we like him for some of those reasons. and he even touched on the little young golf situation and some
Mm.
other. So overall, I thought it was a good interview. I wasn't a fan of and Breakfast Club has a tendency to do stuff like this. I think Soldier said something along the lines of everything that comes out of his mouth is fire, and here comes the jokes, the pause jokes from Charlemagne
Yeah,
and
about it being hard. Yeah.
yeah, and you know what I'm saying. I just yeah, that's what it was. Thank you. And I just they have a tendency to do stuff like that, and I'm not a fan of that.
Mm.
Like take this man seriously. He came up here to do an interview on your platform. Take him seriously. Give him a chance to speak what he's talking about his business and what he's doing musically, and like just keep the jokes to yourself. Like don't nobody want to hear that. So
yeah, I think Charlemagne, especially with the accusations that's out there against him, he really needs to dial it back, man. I mean, it's like that, and then he has some podcast with some white guy. I don't even know the name of it, but just some of the jokes that they do for him being under these type of accusations, man, it's not really a good look.
Yeah, Brilliant Idiots is the name of the podcast.
Yeah.
Him and Andrew Schultz. And actually, Andrew Schultz was one of the people who talked to him about that whole incident. And there's a video clip, I know it was on YouTube, with Charlemagne basically giving a detailed description of that whole night and everything that happened. So, yeah, I agree with you. I think he should definitely, as my man Chris Tucker would say in Rush Hour, tread softly, considering, some of the things going on with him. But as we know, they've been doing stuff like this. And
right.
That could be, something that they think brings in viewers or gets them ratings. That could be part of their thing. So who knows? But yeah. I definitely would tone some of that down. And I think it's disrespectful to your guest personally, but
All right, man. We'll transition. Verzuz announced 2 shows coming up. They got Shaka Khan versus Stephanie Mills and Bone Thugs and Harmony versus 3-6 Mafia. What were your immediate thoughts when you saw both banners?
Oh man, Shaka Khan and Stephanie Mills is very interesting. Obviously, most people are familiar with Shaka Khan. I'm not sure exactly the level of people who are familiar with Stephanie Mills, but Stephanie Mills is a great singer.
My mom, for sure.
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah.
But Mills is a great singer. I definitely think this is going to be an uphill battle for her, though, dealing with someone the likes of Shaka Khan. But we will see. I haven't had a chance to run through Stephanie Mills' list of songs. I can think of a few off the top of my head, but once I really, delve into her catalog, maybe we can talk about it next week and do some predictions or whatnot. But I think it's interesting as far as the matchup. And really, I feel like anybody going against Shaka Khan is going to have a difficult, a go just because of who they're going against. Shaka Khan's a legend. Right. As far as the Bone Thugs and 3-6 Mafia versus, this one is interesting to me because it's 2 contrasting styles. Bone Thugs, obviously, East 1999, First of the Month, For the Love of Money, so many different records, that we could talk about. And 3-6 Mafia, obviously being, us being from the South, they're a staple in the South. DJ Paul, Juicy J, tons of records. They even had a TV show at one point in time, I think on MTV. So their notoriety is definitely grand and huge. So I think this one should be interesting. If I was to take a guess right now, though, I would probably roll with 3-6 on this one. But I definitely think it's going to be interesting, and I'm interested to see how it all plays out.
Yeah. Shaka Khan, Stephanie Mills, it's going to be interesting. I mean, I know Stephanie got some bangers because my mom used to just play it all the time growing up. And obviously, we know Shaka is a legend. I'll probably say Shaka, but I'm going to kind of treat this one like the Big Daddy Kane KRS-One. It wouldn't surprise me if Stephanie pulled a rabbit out of her hat, but that should be an interesting matchup. As far as Bone Thugs and 3-6, I'm from the South, but I lived in Ohio for years, so I got ties to both regions or whatever. So it's like a tough one for me. I mean, early on, definitely Bone, but just for years of consistency, 3-6 probably stayed together longer. I'll probably say 3-6 too, but I don't know. I mean, I have to kind of go back through the catalog of both and kind of maybe next week I can kind of give a more objective opinion, but I kind of agree with you. I think, just thinking off the top of my head, I'll probably say 3-6.
Well, one thing I will say about Bone, I mean, Bone is one of the few groups that actually has records with Big and Tupac.
Yep.
So Notorious Thugs and then Thug Love. So
now, Mike, interesting though. I'm sorry to cut you off. Interesting thing though. This could be like a Jadakiss thing. I mean, Bone could just outperform them, even if the catalog is not as impactful, because that kind of plays a part. Those guys can rap like very, very good live. Not taking anything away from 3-6, but I'm just saying Bone is something different. So they could, on the performance side, get them, even if the catalog isn't as deep.
That's fair. Bone's catalog is fairly deep, even despite the fact that they haven't really put out a lot of music that has charted in recent years. But I just think overall, the vibe of what 3-6 does is going to be difficult for them to combat. But now, as you say, the actual rapping ability of Bone could, turn the tide. So it's going to be an interesting match because of the different styles.
Right.
So it's definitely going to be interesting, and I look forward to it.
Yeah, definitely, man, definitely. Next up, man, what's going on with Travis, man? I see the lawsuit starting to kind of stack up against him.
Yeah, I mean, by this point, everybody knows about the Astro World tragedy. We're all aware that that there already are numerous lawsuits aimed at Travis, and he's not the only one that's involved in this. Drake, for whatever his involvement in the entire Astro World Festival, has also accumulated his fair share of lawsuits as well as Rock Nation. And I'm sure that there are going to be more lawsuits to come for other associated parties. But at this point, it's saying that Travis is facing upwards of 200 lawsuits. And, it sounds crazy when you hear 200 lawsuits, but when you take into account the amount of people that were there, I think somebody said 50,000 people were at that festival. So, yeah, 50,000 people, 200 lawsuits don't sound that crazy. So, obviously our thoughts and prayers with all of the victims, people who were injured or worse in this situation. And, our thoughts are with Travis and Drake, Live Nation, all those people as well who are involved, because it looks like this is going to be something that's going to drag on for quite some time.
Right. Yeah, I almost wonder who insures the venues and stuff. I'm not gonna say the name on here. I'm not gonna get canceled. Like Kanye kept saying during his interview about they're gonna kill him after this, but I'm not gonna mention the insurance company. But I'll talk to you about that off air. But I don't know. I mean, the thing that kind of comes to my mind also is why were those many people allowed in the show with COVID going on? I mean, I went to Nas's concert, and I think I went to another show, but it's but even some sports games and stuff like that, I mean, some people got to show, vaccine cards just to get into the arena. So I don't really know in Texas what the setup was, but that could be some of the damages they could be facing. Also, why was, overcrowding allowed in the first place under a pandemic,
Yeah, and I heard that there were, I think, 750 police officers. I think the amount of total staff that they had to deal with the entire the entire group of people that was there was less than 900 people. So,
Yeah.
you know.
Right. Yeah, I heard there was more cops there than for the World Series.
Oh, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, it shows you, though, even despite, you know, that the police presence there, it didn't really stop anything from getting to the point that it got to. So,
yeah.
Yeah,
our thoughts and prayers with the people who were impacted, and hopefully whether it be Travis or Live Nation or other artists, this can be like a teaching moment or whatever for things to be safer moving forward. Our last news segment, what's going on with Talib trolling Kanye?
Okay, so obviously Kanye has some things to say about Talib on Drink Champs. Talib, I saw after the Drink Champs interview, he went to his page and plugged the Black Star album, which I'm not sure exactly. We don't have a release date for it at the moment, but from what I understand, it is done. So, hopefully we'll get that within the next few months, hopefully. But he took to his Instagram page and promoted the Black Star album, and shortly after, maybe a day or two later, he made a post, which the headline or the caption on the post said Kanye West Ghostwriter Appreciation Post. And there were a series of people who were in this post, pictures of, some of them were single pictures, some were pictures with Talib, but included were Saha the Prince, Pusha T, Lupe Fiasco, Consequence, Rhymefest, Farnsworth Bentley, John Legend, Partisan Fontaine, GLC, and Melissa Yusuf. Now, or Yusuf, I'm sorry. And now, some of these, for instance, Rhymefest, it's been said that Rhymefest wrote Jesus Walk, a while ago. Saha and Pusha T have been admitted, guys who've been in the room with Kanye when he's crafting songs, admitted collaborative supporters and collaborative writers. And I wouldn't be surprised about some of these other names as well. But I'm guessing it's just, Kweli taking his chance to kind of, strike back.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I didn't get a chance to look at it, but yeah, I mean, I'm about to mention it in a second, but yeah, man, I mean, we'll go ahead and transition to the album reviews, because we're gonna open up with Talib Kweli and Diamond D, a project called Gotham. And the reason I wanted to just kind of transition to that, because I was listening to the first song called Sons of Gotham. To me, it kind of, I mean, not necessarily a diss, but it's definitely some shots at Kanye. Did you kind of catch on to that?
He said, MAGA rappers out here sounding like they Kanye. Yeah, I I think, Kweli has always been a person who has prided himself on being of the culture, promoting the culture, and I don't want to put words in his mouth, but he seems to be a very pro-Black, and a lot of, I think, his raps and his views come across as pro-Black. So I can see why, the MAGA situation and some of the other things that Kanye said would bother a person like Kweli. I can get that. But I definitely heard that line and some other lines across the album that I thought could have been aimed at Kanye. Definitely.
Yeah. I mean, Talib is one of those kind of guys. He's definitely competitive with the sport. Tracks that stood out to me, I like Sons of Gotham, the Quiet One, On Mamas, Chilling While Black, and The Fold. I mean, those stand out to me. But he got busy, man. I like the production choices that he he chose, and he was talking that talk. I mean, it was a little more aggression here than I'm kind of normally used to from Talib. But it's kind of like people sometimes get older, they just say whatever, like it's no filter, to say whatever I want to say, and I kind of got that vibe. But overall, I really like this project.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too. Diamond D's production was excellent as always. Sons of Gotham was dope to me. The Quiet One featuring Busta Rhymes. I really enjoy Attention Span I think Sky Zoo was on that one, if
Yep.
I'm not
Mm-hmm.
mistaken.
Yep.
And we spoke on Sky Zoo a couple of pods ago. Definitely a dope MC.
Yeah.
In due time, pick your head up and adjust. So yeah, I enjoyed the majority of this project. Thought it was well done. Thought the message was dope. So yeah, shout out to Talib and Diamond D.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I enjoyed it too, man. Next up, man, we got Blue, the color Blue. What were your thoughts on this one?
Well, you know, we reviewed Mickey Facts, Blue, and Not the Narrative. I think that might have been the last part that we did.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my critiques, probably the only critique on that I have of the album, was that I felt like Blue, I think, works better on certain types of production. And as I listened to this album, it reminded me why I liked Blue in the first place. I think he was really in his bag on this, not only lyrically, but production-wise. I think this is, you know, this is kind of this and the production from Below the Heavens and albums like that he's done is really more so his bag than what he did, let's say, on the Knox project. Not that I thought it wasn't good or quality or anything like that, but I definitely feel like the level of rapping that he did on this project was better. For me, highlights I Am Blue, Everyday Blues, Because the Sky is Blue, You Ain't Never Been Blue, We Are Darker Than Blue, and Blue World, the final track, I thought was probably some of the best storytelling that I've ever heard from Blue on a track. Thought it was very dope. Overall, I enjoyed the album, and I like the, you know, all of the songs kind of reference Blue and, you know, with the samples, I thought were dope.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I just thought it was real dope. Kind of jazzy, you know, dope music.
Yeah. My favorite definitely on the album is Mr. Blue. I like that one a lot. The sample was crazy. We Are Darker Than Blue, I Was Born Blue, Mr. Blue Sky, you know, those were the standout tracks to me. But yeah, I kind of liked it, had like some, you know, kind of jazz elements into it, some cool samples. He definitely, you know, zeroed in on his name and the concepts of it, and you know, gave some references to his mother and stuff like that. So yeah, overall, good project.
Yeah, I definitely thought the concept was dope altogether. So yeah, shout out to Blue.
All right, man. Next up, we got Ransom in Rome Streets. Was it Coupe de Grace?
Coupe de Grace, yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, Ransom, you know, I've spoken on Ransom before on the pod as well. I think he's one of the most underrated lyricists out there right now. Rome Streets is very dope as well, and he displayed that on this project for people who aren't familiar with him. I don't want to put this type of pressure on him, but Rome Streets reminds me a lot of Big L as far as the way that he sets up his rhymes and the schemes and different things like that. So I don't know if he's highly influenced by Big L or anything like that, but I don't, like I said, I don't want to put that pressure on him. Mm-hmm. Big L is, you know, a phenomenon.
Oh yeah.
I could definitely see similarities between their rapping styles.
Right.
Overall, I thought it was a really dope album. No Remorse, Rooftop Sermons is crazy. Mm-hmm. Claudine featuring Shay Noor, I thought the storytelling was really dope. Pray for the Weak featuring The Game is fire.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Fuel, Silent Murderers, and Just Becomes Life. So yeah, I liked most of the tracks on this project. Thought it was very well done. Production was dope. Fit both of their styles well. Yeah. And yeah, I enjoyed it.
Man, Rome Streets snapped on this thing, man. I mean, I'm familiar with Ransom because I've listened to some of his projects. He's an incredible lyricist. I've never even heard of Rome Streets, so I was listening. I was like, man, like, I mean, there was definitely some performances on here where I think Rome Streets like did his thing. Like he, you know, kind of outshined him, and then Ransom had other ones where he did his thing, but they complemented each other well. Pray for the Weak, Rooftop, was it Rooftop Sermons?
Yeah,
Rooftop Sermons, Jet Fuel, Silent Murderers, Dark Love, Death Becomes Life is fire, man. Yeah, overall, man, it's a good project. I like the I guess like the groove of it is kind of jazzy, sort of, kind of the beats were kind of mellow or whatever, but it allowed them to kind of breathe on it with the vocals, and they did a good job. Ransom did a majority of the hooks, but it was a good project, man. And the game snapped, man.
Thanks.
Yeah. He had a really good verse. Next up, bro, this one here, man. Like, I had to really have my thinking cap on to listen to this one, man. It was a K Rino, Blessing. What is it?
K Rino.
K Rino. Okay, it's my first time ever listening to him. K Rino, A Blessing and a Burden. When I Googled him, man, I see he's done a lot of projects. He's got like a label in Houston and stuff like that. But man, it's like this thing, it was like barred up, man. It was like there's a lot of messages in here. Definitely like a thinking man's album. Definitely woke, for sure. The tracks that stand out to me, I Apologize, Fire, Blessing and a Burden, Ain't Family, because man, that Ain't Family thing was like, people who deal with family drama, you listen to that one, what he's talking about. The Healer, On the Way Down, Would You, and probably my favorite track on here is Cornerstone Convo. That was crazy. He was talking about, I'm not giving money to somebody out here whose clothes look better than mine. That line was fire. But yeah, man, I don't know if he's like I don't know much about him, but he almost sounds like a preacher or someone definitely kind of, affiliated with the church. Because one of the songs, I think The Healer, is almost like he was describing Jesus in some ways or whatever. And there's definitely some, I don't use the word religious, but definitely like some biblical references in here and biblical stories and the way he kind of penned it or whatever. So it was definitely a good project, but it was a thinking man's project. But the guy, like every song was almost like 4 or 5 minutes. He didn't like cheat you on like any bars. I mean, some of the production was kind of iffy or whatever, but it got better, as the project went on. Like On the Way Down was probably my favorite beat on here. And I think he had another joint called Houston or whatever. But yeah, it was a good project, man.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too. After the Fact was really dope to me. The Reveal I thought was a really dope storytelling track.
Yeah.
The Heavy Gun, one of the better hooks on the album, I thought. I Apologize, just raw rapping. I thought that was fire. Houston Is another one, probably one of the I could have seen Houston Is being a single. If he were to release it, and I'm not sure whether he did or not, but if he were to release a single for that album, I could see Houston Is being one of the singles. Ain't Family, as you said, fire. On the Way Down, another one where I think
really good,
probably better hook of the album altogether. From a Distance, Would You, just a very dope, thought-provoking track. And Cornerstone Convo, as you said, there was one part of the song where he's talking about a guy wanting something to eat or whatever, and he says, okay, well, I'll just get you something from Denny's, and the dude's like, I'm allergic to Denny's, and he's like, so how you allergic to the whole menu? Like,
yeah.
It made me laugh. Like, I love that line. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm rocking with this. As you said, definitely, I think you used the analogy of saying it's a thinking man's album. For me, I would just say, kind of similar to what I said with my review of Superwood. I think it's a really hip hop album. So if you're not, a hip hop head, then this might not be the album for you. But if you are, then I think you'll find a lot of tracks and a lot of things to appreciate about this.
Right. It's crazy when he was rapping. I kind of saw some. I know that he's older than Slim Thug, but I kind of saw like some, not similarities, but maybe Thug was inspired by him a little bit. I can kind of hear it just a little bit. What's that?
I could possibly see that. I mean, especially considering as long as he's been doing this thing, he's like, people, outside of Texas may not know about him, but in Texas, he's a certified legend.
Right.
You know, the same way they look at guys like Scarface or Zero, people like that. That's the same way they look at K Reno. So
yeah,
he's a in Texas, no doubt.
Yeah, it's a good project, man. Definitely you could just hear the Houston swag, but the guy had, stories for days. And but on the way down, man, I like a lot of the stuff he was saying, man, about sometimes celebrities don't want to take the autographs, or people don't borrow money, don't want to pay it back, and all that kind of stuff. And kind of on your way down, people just see you going down from your mountaintop. So it's just an incredible story, and the way he penned it was dope, man.
Right.
All right, next up, man, we got Currency and Harry Fraud, man. This one is it's fire, man. I'm horrible with the names. What's the name of this album?
Regatta.
Okay. It's fire, man. I love this album. The standout tracks to me: Key West Classic with Styles P, maybe my favorite one on here. Selling Cereal, Carlot, the Venture Cup, the Venture Cup, and 75 Tons. But bro, this is another example. Man, anytime 2 Chainz gets on somebody's song, bro, he is snapping, man. Like from this to stuff he's done with Westside and Conway, like, man, he's getting busy, man. But I really enjoyed this project. Currency, man, he's been killing it, man. We talked last week about him and Jermaine Dupri cooking up something in the lab. And Harry Fraud, man, shout out to him. He's really been doing some stuff, had the project with Dave East, and so he's definitely putting his stamp on that he can work with anybody also.
Definitely. I mean, you said just about everything I was gonna say in that one. Highlights for me: Selling Cereal featuring 2 Chainz, Purchasing Power. I thought was probably one of my favorite tracks on the entire. I don't know if you call it an EP or a project. I mean, it's 8 songs, so we'll just call it a project. Super Series featuring Larry June, Carlot, The Venture Cup featuring Jay Worthy, 75 Tons. And Key West Classic featuring Styles P. And it's only 8 songs, and if I'm not mistaken, I just named 7. So as y'all can see, pretty much, the whole album is fire. And shout out to Harry Fraud once again. As you mentioned, we reviewed the album that he did with Dave East, Hoffa, earlier this year. Definitely one of the better albums of the year. And Currency, we just reviewed Currency's latest project not too long ago, maybe 2 pods ago. So it's great to see both of them working, both of them putting out quality music and quality projects. And this was definitely another notch in both of their belts.
Yeah, man. Facts. All right, man. We got new music of the week, man. I'll let you start it off.
Okay. So I'll start with King Crooked, My Paper Thin. What I really enjoyed about this track were there was a lot of old school samples that were thrown in, some music samples, some voice samples. I think I heard an MC Light voice sample in there, and a couple of other samples that are like really, really known in hip hop. So I thought that was dope. Overall, it's a storytelling track. He's kind of just putting you in the mindset of somebody whose money is low and they're trying to find different resources and ways of acquiring money. So overall, I thought the track was dope. And I mean, Crooked's a great rapper. So obviously we expect him to rap great, which he did.
Oh, yeah.
And dope track.
Yeah, I loved it, man. I mean, it's Crook doing what Crook does, man. I mean, he's it's definitely one of the most underrated guys out there, man. And he's gotten a lot better over the years too, as far as not just his pen, but like his projects keep getting better and better. Him and Joel did a project called Hard. It was early in this year, but it was a really good project, man. Real good project. What about RJ Payne, man? Hell's Fury.
Bruh. bruh. Okay, so this is a 7-minute song. Just to give y'all a little preview. 7 minutes and 10 seconds, but it's worth every minute and every second of it. I'm talking about everybody on this track. Snap.
Yeah.
DJ K Slay. We got Rod Digger, whose verse was ridiculous. Papoose, who snapped. Corey Guns, who snapped.
Yeah.
His verse was fire, and RJ brought in, closed it out with a fire verse himself. So what I appreciate about him and guys like Ransom and Rome Streets and guys like that, like they give you that, I don't want to say authentic, but that, traditional hip hop feel that I kind of feel like is missing in a lot of hip hop today. Now that hip hop isn't, versatile and can be used and expressed in many ways, but I just feel like when it comes to like just, dope beats and hard hitting beats and bars, like RJ Payne and some of the other people I named do that better than a lot of people in the game right now. So let me give them their flowers for that. But overall, I thought it was a dope track.
Yeah, I concur 100%. It's fire. And Rod Digger, man, she letting people know she's outside, man. We always talk about all these other female MCs, man, but she gets glossed over a lot. She's definitely been one of my favorites.
Yeah, I like Rod Digger ever since the first time I heard her with Bus. I've always been a fan. So shout out to Rod Digger. Everybody else associated, Papoose, Roy, Corey Gunn, Snap too, and of course RJ. So shout out to all of them. That was a dope track.
Yeah, another female MC that I like a lot, Shauna, who's with Luda. I like her a lot too, man.
Shauna is fire. Shauna just, I don't know why, but Shauna for some reason doesn't really get the type of credit or recognition that she deserves, but Shauna is fire. She's been fire.
Oh yeah.
So shout out to Shauna as well. I would love to hear some new stuff from her. I know I think she put out a couple of singles last year, but without that machine behind you, you don't normally get as much press and buzz as you would with it. So, but really a talented MC, Shauna, no doubt.
For sure.
Definitely a talented MC.
Yeah, for sure, man. Next up, man, we got Apollo Brown and Staley. We outside.
Yeah, Staley and Apollo Brown. We outside. Or it may be Staley. I'm gonna call him. I think it is Staley actually. So we'll say Staley. But Staley used to be with Maybach Music Group. Back with.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
He's the guy with the big beard.
Yeah. Yep.
He was on that joint with Scarface too, swanging with the mint condition sample. Yeah, that's him. But yeah, Staley, great to see him still making music, still doing his thing. And like I said, he's working with Apollo Brown. I think this joint album that they're doing together, the song "We Outside," it's Staley doing his thing. I always thought Staley was a talented rapper. I think he brings an interesting perspective as far as the way that he raps and some of the things that he raps about. So I was glad to hear, him doing his thing again. And it appears that he is now with Mellow Music Group. And for those of you who don't know, Mellow Music Group is a label out of Arizona. Some associated acts are obviously Apollo Brown, Odyssey, Chris Rivers, who is Big Pun's son, Quelle Chris, who's another talented rapper or artist, but also happens to be the husband of Jean Grey, Raz Kaz, the rapper Pooh, or Big Pooh, I'm sorry, if I'm not mistaken, was in Little Brother. Obviously Staley and Open Mike Eagle. So great to see him once again doing his thing again. I look forward to the project. I think it's actually coming out within the next week or two. So we'll probably add that to, we will add that to our listening list in the near future. And shout out to Staley, shout out to Apollo Brown, dope production, dope track.
You mentioned the name, Jean Grey. She's another great female MC. while we was talking about Rod Digger and Shauna. Yeah, Jean Grey is fire too. I love the song, man. And Apollo Brown, man. No, he did the project with Joel too. So he's another guy, kind of like Harry Fraud, man, that they just get in their bag, and the production is fire. But yeah, I like the groove of it. It's a real good song, man. Makes me definitely want to check out the project for sure. Next up, man, we got Joel Ortiz. Love is Love, man. Featuring who is it featuring?
Sheik Luch.
Yeah, it's right, Sheik. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, Joel doing what Joel does. Bars, rapid, I won't say rapid fire, but back-to-back bars. You know, he rapping his tail off as he normally does.
Yeah.
Verse was dope. I think Heat Makers, or if I'm not mistaken, I think Heat Makers was on the beat. Mm-hmm. But I think Apollo Brown does have a large portion or a large part in the production on that project as well. But yeah, just fire. You know, nothing really to say, but you know, a dope performance and a dope record.
Yeah, I concur, man. And yeah, Joel, you know, he's always gotten busy, man, and I enjoy his projects. Like Monday was like a really good project. So yeah, I definitely enjoyed the track as well, and makes me want to listen to the album.
Yeah, I think it should. I think it actually came out this past week. So yeah, that's something we'll be adding to the listening list as well.
All right, Mike. And what's our last song, Mike?
The last one is Smino, I Deserve. Now we talked about Smino briefly on the show. We touched on him and his BET cipher with Tierra Whack, D Smoke, and Grip, and I enjoyed it. I mean, Smino has a very distinct kind of style. It's almost kind of singing and rapping, and it's ironic. When we reviewed IDK's album, You See For Yourself, and we listened to that track Puerto Rico, I really could have felt like Smino could have been on that track, and I thought it would have been really dope. And I think somebody in the comment section might have even said, I could see Smino on this track, and I immediately heard Smino on it and thought that it would be amazing. But this was another dope track by Smino. Like I said, if you're not familiar with his music, his cadence is crazy. Like I said, it's kind of like a singing, rapping type deal, but definitely original. His lyrics are very creative and interesting to me. So I'm a fan. I rock with Smino.
Yeah, definitely, man. I definitely agree. Actually, when I went through the music, that was the first one I listened to. But yeah, I enjoyed it, man. I can see what you're talking about. The combination. We kind of call them like hybrids or whatever, but singing, rapping. But yeah, it's a very good track, man. And you know, everybody should definitely check that one out.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, Mike, man, we got our news, man. And we don't even have this on the rundown, but I just want to mention this. Shout out to Benny the Butcher, man. He got signed to Def Jam. So what were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think Benny's initial deal was with Roc Nation. The one where he released his solo album. I think it was The Burden of Proof. And I want to say that was the
Hit Boy
album, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I think his original deal was with Roc Nation. Obviously, that's up, and it's, you know, I mean, Benny's one of the most talented guys in the game right now. So I didn't expect him to be a free agent for very long. And shout out to him on his deal with Def Jam. I look forward to hearing a lot more dope music from Benny.
Yeah, shout out to Snoop, man. That was a good sign.
Thanks.
All right, man. We got the baby with the EP, Back on My Baby. You know what stuff? You know, he has an EP. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'll say it. Back on My Baby, Jesus shit. He's got some features from Kodak Black and 21 Savage. I heard the 21 Savage song, the beat crazy.
Yeah.
And you know, he's doing his thing. 21 Savage is doing his thing. So yeah, I'm interested to see what the entire project sounds like. I think it's like 6 songs. So yeah, just looking forward to seeing what he has on his mind,
Yeah.
especially considering some of the recent things he's been involved with.
Right.
So, but glad to see him still making music, still doing his thing. So shout out to the baby, and we will review this one on the pod in the future.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I'm definitely looking forward to it, man. I want to hear what he has to say and all the stuff that he's been through and the this year. So I know he's going to be hungry. I was hoping it was a full album, but I'm sure the EP is probably just like a appetizer, for a project that he's cooking up. But yeah, I look forward to it. I actually like him a lot. I like the baby. I like the way he raps, and I think he makes good projects. So I look forward to checking that one out. And last but not least, man, we got Joel Ortiz with the autograph. Yeah, I look forward to checking this one out, man. I like Joel. Obviously, I think Royce is a legend. Joe does what he does, and Crooked, so we always talk about them, but I always thought like Joel was kind of overlooked a little bit in like Slaughterhouse. Like he's very good, man. He's very talented. I enjoy his projects. Like I say, I mentioned the Monday project earlier. He has another one. I can't even think of the name of it. And I know him and Fred the Godson did a project as well. So Joel makes great music, man. I look forward to checking this one out.
Yeah, definitely. I think one of the projects that I got started with him, it was a project dedicated to hip hop. I can't remember the name, but that whole project was crazy. Like, I can't remember the name of that project, but you know which one I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, and it was fire. So, and yeah, with him with Mellow Music Group, I'm sure he'll be doing some work with Odyssey, some work with Apollo Brown, and maybe even some other people who are signed to the label. So, yeah, I just look forward to seeing what he does. As you said, a very talented lyricist, often overlooked, but he's getting a chance to do his thing with this one. And I think Mellow Music Group is a great group to do that with. So, shout out to Joel.
Oh, yeah, for sure. All right, Mike, man, it's been weeks since we did this one, man. I mean, it's been weeks. But we're back with our top albums of the year. And the reason we kind of fell back, we didn't want to do this like every week. We wanted to kind of let some music kind of build up and then come back and retouch it. So we probably kind of do this every 6 to 8 weeks or whatever. But Mike, what's up, man? What's your top albums of the year, man? We're going to go through 15.
Okay, 15. And once again, as we stated on the last time we did this, I don't have them numbered out as far as like 1 to 15.
Okay.
I'm just naming what I think are the 15 best projects I've heard. Okay. So starting from the bottom of the list, and that's all. And once again, this is not numbered when I say the bottom of the list, but starting from the bottom and working my way up. I start with Boldy James, Bo Jackson. Every time I listen to that project, I'm just reminded of how great the production was. Alchemist shined on their production-wise, and Boldy did some of the best rapping I've heard from him. So that's definitely one for me. As we mentioned earlier, Harry Fraud and his project with Dave East Hostile was extremely well done. One of the best projects I've heard all year. So I would definitely have to put that one in there for me as well. Another one I'm going to go with the Styles P Ghosting. The episode where we talked about this album, I think I had said that I listened to it 6 times at that point. I have continued.
Oh, we at 10 now?
And listen to this album. Like, it's so good to me, man. Like, Styles P. That's all I'm going to say. SP to go. So Ghosting. What else we got? Conway La Maquina. Now, this one was tough for me because Conway's put out 3 projects this year, and I really didn't know which one was going to be the one, or actually it might be just 2, because I know there was
if it bleeds, it can be killed.
And there was this one, and I know we were talking about Piano Love, but Piano Love was just a single,
right?
So it may just be 2 albums, but between the 2 of them, I thought I went with La Maquina mainly because of the Scatterbrain feature with JID and Ludacris.
Mm.
I thought the other album was probably just as well done, but there weren't really any singles on that album. And that definitely had a single on it with that single. Probably one of the biggest records of the year, in my opinion. So La Machina definitely has to be mentioned as well. Grip, I died for this. Still in my top 15. Still one of the best albums I've heard all year. I love the structure of it. He does some incredible rapping. The entire presentation, I feel like, was just very well done and thought-provoking. So I have to, give my man Grip some flowers on that one. Westside Gunn, Hitler Wears Hermes 8. We spoke on that one on the pod. If you really want to deep dive on that one, then you can check out that specific pod. But great album. Overall, production is great. And Westside just is great at crafting albums, whether it's this one, Pray for Paris, or even the side B to Hitler Wears Hermes 8. Like, he's just great at crafting albums. So this is just another example of it, in my opinion. Let's see. We have D Smoke, War and Wonders. Excellent album. Some great features. Had features his brother, Sir, Westside Boogie, Marsha Ambrosius, Toby Nwigwe. Some great songs on that project. I definitely feel like, in my opinion, it's his best project to date. Even though Black Habits was very great and was nominated for a Grammy, I think this one is, for me, a better album. AZ, Do or Die 2. Man, just incredible. Incredible album. And AZ, doing what AZ is known for doing.
Oh, yeah.
Work still. I'm not going to get too deep on that, but check that out. AZ, Do or Die 2. Common, A Beautiful Revolution 2. We spoke on that one as well. When We Move with Black Thought. Imagine with PJ. Just a bunch of dope tracks. And the whole aesthetic of the album, I thought, was just great. Tyler, the Creator, Call Me When You Get Lost. One I mentioned earlier in the conception of the pod. Still one of the best albums I've heard all year, sonically, from top to bottom. Rapping wise, I think it's some of Tyler's best rapping in his career. And just great album. Luke Goldmouth is also in there for me. This is Luke. Well, like we discussed on the pod, he released West 1999 Part 2. I don't know if that was regarded as an album or a mixtape, but this has been regarded as his Dreamville debut. So if being regarded as that, I think it's definitely a very, very strong debut and one of the best albums I've heard all year. Great tracks with Westside Boogie, Saba, JID, list goes on and on. BJ the Chicago Kid, just a fire project. And to get ready to close it up, I got 3 left. So IDK, You See For Yourself. Me and Terrance have been talking about this album for weeks since we reviewed it. Easily one of the best albums of the year, in my opinion. Check it out for yourself if you doubt. You See For Yourself. Quick pun right there. Peloton, Puerto Rico, Hey Auntie, some great tracks on there. Little Sim, Sometimes I Might Be Introvert. Another great album, Introvert. Man, so many great songs on that project. I'm not gonna delve too deep in, but Little Sim, Sometimes I Might Be Introvert. And then lastly, and certainly not least, is Nas King's Disease 2. And that wraps up my top 15 thus far for the year.
Okay. Yeah, good list, man. Good list. I was trying to see how many similar. Now, I know if we do a 20 eventually, I know one. I just took one off when you mentioned somebody. So, but yeah, okay. If we do a top 20, one that I had on here may shock you, but I took it off.
Can I guess real quick?
What's that?
Can I guess real quick?
Yeah.
Tom Kennedy.
No.
Okay, I was sure that was it because I was
No,
thinking.
no. Actually, if we did a top 20, I would probably put Culture 3 in there.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
top,
I kind of enjoyed that project.
I feel it. Top 20. I had Moneybag in my top 20 as
Yeah,
well.
there you
So,
go. Yeah, yeah.
so yeah, I feel that. But
All
go
right.
ahead.
Well, I actually did number mine. But again, it's just kind of off the top of my dome or whatever. So I got number 15. I got AZ Do or Die 2, Fire Project. AZ getting busy and is back. It's good to see other guys like Wayne and Conway hop on the project, and it's a great project. Number 14, I got Common, A Beautiful Revolution Part 2. Um, I think I probably still like the first one a little bit better, but overall, it's a great project. He actually re-released it, just made it one album, but it's fire, man. I mean, Common is it's been doing this forever, close to 30 years. He hasn't shown any signs of slowing down. I'm still waiting for them to get somebody for him to battle. I mean, just from an MCing standpoint, him and Busta make two different types of music or whatever, but just from a stage presence or whatever, that'd be a worthy opponent.
Absolutely.
Number 13, I got Little Sims. Sometimes I might be introvert. I didn't forget about that one, Mike. So
Okay.
Fire Project, man, she did a great job. I got to go back and kind of re-listen to that one, but yeah, she's incredible, and I think you told me before that she's someone that Kendrick listens to. So
Absolutely.
yeah, she is incredible with the pen. Number 12, I got Benny the Butcher, Pyrex Picasso. I still enjoy that project. It's a short project, but I liked it a lot. I can't wait to hear what he's gonna do on Def Jam, and this is Snoop signing, so I know Benny's gonna deliver and come through with some fire, man.
Right.
Number 11, I got D Smoke, War and Wonders, incredible project. D Smoke just uh man, just the jazz, the production, everything he did. I gave him like a high compliment. I even told him that I felt like I mean, obviously I don't think it's as good as Illmatic, but I compare it to Illmatic, like just from a production standpoint and the way he put it together, it's incredible. Number 10, I got Grip. I died for this. Incredible project. I'm still banging it. That Glenwood freestyle is ridiculous. I
Right.
like the joint with M and Royce. Incredible projects. Mama told me. I mean, it's just incredible project, man. So shout out to Grip. Number
Okay.
9, I got West Side Gun, Hitler Wears Hermes 8. Incredible project. Number 5, I can't think of the name of it. I've listened to that song probably 1,000 times. The sample.
Mary
What's that?
Mariota.
Yeah, Mariota. The sample is ridiculous. I love that song. But yeah, it's a great project. Side B got some fire tracks on there as well. Here's where it starts getting a little interesting and tough.
Okay.
Um, number 6, I'm sorry, number 8, I got Marlon Craft Home Court Advantage Volume 1.
Marlon Craft.
Yeah,
Okay.
man.
Okay.
I like the project, man. He did his thing, man. He did his thing.
Shout out to
Uh
Marlon.
Next up, number 7, I got Conway the Machine, La Maquina. Fire project, man. That whenever I go running, I like listening to that joint with Scatterbrain. Just the
Yep.
intro of it just kind of puts me in like a Rocky mode or something, man, just to go run or whatever. So fire track, just overall great project. It was good to see Conway on those type of beats or whatever. I love that particular project.
Yep.
Number 6, I got IDK. You see for yourself. Incredible project. I referred to it as a classic. I know budget wise, he's probably not working with the best, the big name people or whatever, but what he did is incredible. I mean, it's no knock when I'm saying that, but I'm just saying that some people's budgets are bigger. And but he took every dime that he had and made what worked for him, man, and just did an incredible body of work. And I love it, man. It's an incredible project. Here's what I'm about to shock you, Mike. Number 5, man. I got Currency.
Which one?
The new one.
Okay.
Yeah, the one we just listened to, man. I like every song on that project, man. I told you the other day I had one that I was gonna put into my my top 10 or whatever, top 15 that may shock you. It was Currency. I love the project. Yeah, I love the project, man. I like every song on there. I'm starting to like Currency a lot, man. He's growing on me. You know, he's growing on me a lot. I know him and Wiz have this you know, connection, you know, and Wiz, you know, for a long time, you know, was like one of my favorite guys, you know, because he's different, you know what I'm saying? He's not doing what everybody else is doing. He just does him, man. But Currency is definitely growing on me, man. I like that project a lot. The Key West with Styles P is ridiculous, man. And I just like his whole swag, man. Just what he's talking about. The it's like a groove to his projects. It's just an easy listen, man. So shout out to Currency. I like it a lot. So I got him at 5. Number 4 is probably no shock to you. I got Dom Kennedy from the West Side with Love. One of my favorite projects of the year. Dom got busy, man. Number 3, man, I'm still gonna put Kanye in there, man, but just because it's not that I like every song on there, but just the way it's produced and sonically and how much he put into it and the choirs and just the overall nostalgia of it. You know, I still got to give Donda some love. You know, it's still a lot of tracks in there I enjoy listening to. Go ahead.
Quick question. So you like that Regatta better than you like Stoned on the Ocean, the other Currency project that we did a couple weeks ago?
I like both of them. I have to go back and listen to Stone on Ocean. I like both of them, but for now, I'm gonna say that one because that's the one that I've just listened to, and I think I'll probably listen to it about 4 or 5 times already.
No, I feel that. I think Regatta was a better project from top to bottom as well. So yeah. I feel that.
Yeah. I listen. Oh, okay, I listened to about 4 or 5 times already, man. So it's fire, man. Number 2, I got J. Cole, the off season. You know, I still enjoy that project. Just the rapping he's doing on it is just probably the best I've heard him, man. It's, you know, incredible. And then number 1, man, I still got my man Nas, King's Disease 2. I probably listened to that album like 3 times this week. So I'm still studying it. Still, I've memorized a couple songs in there already, but yeah, I love that project, man. And I'm just, you know, I know Nas had talked about them maybe even doing a part 3, man. So I hope they're in the lab doing something, man. So that's my list.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like I didn't say J. Cole in mine. If I didn't, he was 15 for me. And so if my list ends up being 14 and I didn't say J. Cole was my other one. But
okay. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I agree with that list.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of had a feeling you was gonna add Dom Kennedy, and I'm not mad at that because that Dom Kennedy is really a good album. Like it's really a good album.
Right.
So I feel, but yeah, man. Overall, you know, I think you got a very solid list. So,
yeah, I knew Currency was gonna shock you. So
yeah, I mean, you know, don't get me wrong. I feel it. It's a great project. You know.
Yeah.
The only thing shocking about it to me is that, you know, I would probably say, considering that it was just on our listening list this week, that you've already, that would be the only thing that's shocking, not, you know, the project itself. I could definitely see why it would be included.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, sometimes whenever we do these, I always get a chance to like run it back over and over, but I've been running that thing back over and over, man. So I love it a lot. All right, man, we get ready to close out. We got our artist spotlight. Tell us about No Name.
Okay, so No Name, we spoke on her before on the pod, and I'm glad we're getting this opportunity to do artist spotlight on her because we can really delve into her and her work without necessarily talking about things associated with her like we did in previous pods. We could actually give her actual flowers. So known professionally as No Name Gypsy when she started her career. She now goes by No Name. American rapper, poet, record producer from a neighborhood in Chicago called Bronzeville. She started out rapping and getting attention around excuse me, around 2013 when she appeared on the track Lost with Chance the Rapper from his mixtape Acid Rap. And that was a huge project for Chance, the one that really kind of put him on the map. That was the one that contained Juice for those people who are big Chance fans. Her debut mixtape debuted in July of 2016. It was called Telephone, to critical acclaim. Her debut album, Room 25, debuted September of 2018, also to critical acclaim. And as of recently, she has kind of taken a step back from music to focus on the Radical Hood Library and her book club, some things that we've also previously covered on the pod. But as far as her backstory, now she dropped the name Gypsy from her name because when she first started rapping, she was doing slam poetry and kind of things and open mic, you know, just kind of things of that nature. And she went by No Name Gypsy because she felt like gypsies are nomadic and they're not really known for staying in one space for a long time. So kind of a creative thought process behind it. In 2016, she removed the Gypsy from her name, though, after learning about its racial connotation and stating that she was not aware of it and in no shape or form was trying to offend Romani people. She even gave a statement on it, on the reason why she dropped the Gypsy or the reason why she had the name Gypsy in her name and why she eventually dropped it. She said, I try to exist without binding myself to labels. I'm not really into labels at all, even the way I dress. I usually don't wear anything with a name brand. For me, not having a name expands my For me, not having a name expands my creativity. I'm able to do anything. No Name could potentially be a nurse. No Name could be a screenwriter. I'm not limited to one category of art or any other existence, only a more existential level. So I thought that was dope. You can definitely see she's a deeper thinker or a deep thinker. So going back to Telephone. So Telephone, like I said, July 2016, and a lot of the albums were, a lot of the songs from the album were presented as telephone conversations, important ones that she had gone through or had in her life. And in her raps, obviously she speaks about her struggles growing up in Chicago, but obviously being a Black woman, she very much speaks on the Black woman's perspective. Rolling Stone actually in 2016 said that that Telephone was one of the most thought-provoking hip-hop albums that they'd ever heard. Stereo Gum said that No Name possesses a potency and urgency in her complicated spoken word-esque cadences and subdued delivery that escapes many of her more animated peers. And Consequence of Sound wrote that the louder her music is played, the brighter her cadence glows, giving her lyrics a type of 3D craft that makes Telephone a diary of lessons too relevant to keep to yourself. And I thought those were all great descriptions. When I mentioned her project that I really enjoyed, it was Telephone. That was the first project that I heard from her. And I just thought it was phenomenal. Like she had a record on there featuring one of my favorite artists. His name's Rory. It's called Diddy Bop. Instantly fell in love with the song. Her cadence, as they said, is crazy. And she's a very thought-provoking lyricist. To continue to move on, 2016, she linked up with fellow Chicago rapper Saba, and they produced a track called Church/Liquor Store, which goes ahead and talks about how there's liquor stores right next to places of worship in Black communities. She even critiqued gentrification and different things like that within the song. She did Tiny Desk in April of 2017. She cites some of her inspirations and people who inspire her as Avril Lavigne, which is an interesting one for me, Nina Simone, Andre 3000, Kanye West, and Missy Elliott. And she also cites the author Toni Morrison and poet Patricia Smith as notable influences on her writing style. And she, as of lately, she's been focusing a lot on stuff that has to do with social justice and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
In May of 2019, she announced that she was coming with an upcoming studio album called Factory Baby. And she also formed a trio called Ghetto Sage with Smino, who we mentioned earlier in the pod, and Saba. So unfortunately, though, later in November of 2019, she announced that she was considering quitting music and expressed her frustration with a predominantly white audience. And she went on to say that the demographics of her fan base made her want to quit music. And she said, I quote, I refuse to keep making music and putting it online for people who don't want to support me, or who won't support me. If y'all don't want to leave the crib, I feel it. I don't want to dance on stage for white people. In 2020, she reiterated that her music career was on pause, though, mainly to focus on her education and her book club. So definitely someone who is not afraid to speak their mind, not afraid to speak on, like I said, social issues and different things like that. And to get ready to wrap this up, as I mentioned on the previous pod, most people who don't know her because of music know her because of the incident with J. Cole right after he released the song Snow on the Bluff. A couple days after he released Snow on the Bluff, she released a song produced by Madlib called Song 33. And she alludes to Cole and some other things that were going on at the time. A lot of it was reflected upon social issues. One specifically was violence against Black women. And at that moment in time, there was a young Black woman who was a Black Lives Matter activist who was killed. And I think she made mention of her in the song for respect of that woman's family. We won't mention her name. But if you want to know, you can go look the song up. But she later took the song down and expressed regret, saying that even though she tried to bring attention back to the issue, she ultimately felt like it was a bigger distraction than it was bringing it back to the issues. And August 2020, she appeared on the remix of Anderson .Paak's Lockdown, which she murdered, by the way, with J.I.D. and J-Rock. And in February 2021, she revealed that she had turned down an offer to be on the Judas and the Black Messiah soundtrack after seeing the film. And she criticized the film for not centering on some of Fred Hampton's politics. So yeah, all in all, No Name is a very talented artist. Like I said, for me, the thing that stands out the most is her cadence. She's very thought-provoking as well, though. But just incredible artist, incredible rapper, and I look forward, hopefully, we all commend people for growing, and I hope that she has grown and learned, some things that she was seeking to learn through the Radical Book Club the Book Club and the Radical Hood Library. But, when you see somebody that talented, you never want to see them give up on their dream, so to speak, or to not make music because they feel alienated in a way. So I hope that we do get more music from No Name in the future. And to add a little context to everything, I spoke on Anthony Fantano on one of our previous podcasts and was talking about how he's, one of the most known YouTubers when it comes to album reviews. Anthony Fantano gave both Telephone and Room 25 8 out of 10. And as we've spoken on Fantano before, 8 out of 10 is not easy to come by from this guy. Like, Fantano ain't finna give you nothing. So if your album was really good, he's gonna show you love, and if it wasn't, then he's not. So, for him to give her 8 out of 10 on both of those projects, I think just shows, that she is somebody who deserves to be respected for her craft and what she does. So To sum it all up, shout out to No Name. Hopefully we get some music from her in the near future. Maybe we'll get that Factory Baby album, or possibly, something from Ghetto Sage with her, Saba, and But shout out to No Name.
Yeah, when you was talking, whether it's the NFL, NBA, music industry, acting, or whatever, sometimes people are talented, but sometimes it's just like the politics of the whole thing that some people just kind of get frustrated with. But yeah, I do remember her. I remember we gave her a shout out as far as what she was doing with the book tour. So yeah, man, I hope everything works out and we can get some music from her.
Absolutely.
Give everybody your social media, Mike.
Okay, so it's M1C_CH3CK. That's Mike Chick. The I is a 1, the E is a 3 with the underscore in the middle. It's that simple.
All right, and you go to Facebook and look for Terrance Hill. Make sure you like the page. Also, you can go to my Instagram, which is Terrance Hill the Great. That's one word. Again, that is Terrance Hill the Great. Link with me on Instagram and follow me there. Also on YouTube, it's Terrance Hill Music, and that's all one word. Terrance Hill Music on YouTube. Make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to this week's episode of Terrance and Mike, the Sleeping Giants. We'll see you on next week. Take care.